this is going to be the final game for this tournament. It's going to be a PvP, apparently. What?
Okay.
Genesis is actually choosing to play as a Protoss.
Wow.
This is...
Wow.
Wow! What the hell?
Wow.
I don't think Formina... Does Formina even know that he's playing as a Protoss?
Well, if he was...
He might have just assumed that he's playing as a Terran, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting to go through the entire game and the entire BSG as a Terran player, and then all of a sudden, yep, it's a final game. You know, it's 1-1 in the best of 3. Why not? I'm just going to mix it up a little bit.
Well, if he can play as a Protoss and he wants to really put Formina off his game, then that is something which is pretty wise to do.
Well, actually, I actually think
he also knows how Formina plays in PvP.
Well, okay, one thing that you have to assume, okay, if you know Formina, if you're going to change to Protoss, the Protoss in this game, instantly Genesis has to go, awesome, okay, yep, definitely, Formina's going to 4-gate, what of it, you know? Like, you're pretty much making Formina go all in a 4-gate situation for some reason. I don't know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting seeing someone who's played Terran the entire game and done so well against Terran, against Protoss players.
Genesis got his gateway down faster than what Formina just did. If they're both going for 4 gates, this means that Genesis might actually be able to get his 4 gate out faster, or just the build that he's going out faster, just by a slight bit.
Yeah.
Just checking their simulator timings. Simulator timing doesn't look like it's that big of a deal. I think that Formina got his simulator off a bit earlier, but that doesn't really change that much in the gateway and 4-gate timings.
Yeah, for some reason, Formina just saying, lol, what? As he's just realised, I'm
he
versing
just realised that
another
he's
Protoss.
a Protoss player for this one.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I think this is going to be, you have to say it's going to be 4-gate v 4-gate. Well, I can almost pretty much say Formina is going to go 4-gate. He's going to feel confident in this last game to go 4-gate. And it's going to be interesting to see.
Genesis got his Cybernex cooldown faster. If they're both going for 4 gates, then Genesis' 4-gate is actually going to come out faster. It's just going to be about how they engage, really. This is going to be really close.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we talked about the entire SPSG, why Formina's got that Cybernex core up quicker, and how he's done so well to win all these matches 4v4. 4-gate versus 4-gate because of that timing, and now he's being out-timed by someone who doesn't normally play Protoss. That's weird.
Well, maybe he does usually play Protoss on a regular basis.
Ooh, yeah, exactly.
It's looking like he actually knows how to do this stuff. And we do have them both chronoing out the gateway research. So
they're going the exact same builds as well. So you have to say that
I think Genesis is still a slight bit ahead. He's actually ahead by a few seconds on the Wargate research. So yet again, he's just a slight inch ahead.
Yeah. Wow, this is actually the exact same build. Like, this is freakishly scary.
They both know exactly what they're doing here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
This is going to decide if they're both going 4 gates or not. Okay, Genesis is going for a 4-gate, but Formina is getting another gas down and hasn't put his 4th gate down yet.
Looks like he's just about to put it down now anyway. So this is going to be... We
already
already have a proxy pylon for Genesis as well. And it looks like we haven't seen that push out with 2 Stalkers and a Zealot, but it looks like 2 Stalkers and a Zealot are going to meet each other straight in the middle, and one probe is just going to scoop right past, but it looks like that Genesis is going to be the one in a little bit of trouble, losing his Stalker first, so that could change the whole entire tide of the game, because it means that Formina is going to be able to make his push. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a probe somewhere. That's interesting, he hasn't brought a probe, so there won't be any sort of pylon at all at the moment, which is interesting.
Yeah, even if he kills off this Zealot, he's not going to be able to reinforce it, really, so...
Yeah, he maybe should have brought a...
Might not actually mean that much if he loses his units.
Yeah, and it looks like that now Genesis is going to be the one right in full control now, pushing all these units out. He's always got his pylon in the middle of the map, not sort of middle of the map, and now it looks like Formina's going to have to run back. He needs... Why doesn't he have any units? Why does he got 600 minerals, and why does he not... Now he's finally making some units.
That's a pretty big blunder. He's also supply blocked. That's huge. He might not actually be able to make enough units in order to try and defend this push.
Yeah, you can see now...
But it looks like Genesis might not be trying to take advantage of it quite yet. So far, actually no, I think that his time might have... checking the units tab. Yeah, actually Genesis has more units at this point and it might convert him into a win. We'll have to wait and see. All the zealots for Formina have been killed off. Not sure why Genesis is falling back. That's just going to lose hit points from his zealots out the front.
Yeah, definitely.
Really pull up with everything up the ramp.
Yeah, and it's just a massive micro game at the moment. Doing really well to be able to kite these zealots. Now warping in some extra units. He actually might pull this off and keep the units back. Interesting to see that he actually managed to get a Twilight cancel down before this actually happened. So
that's why he got the second gas. Okay.
Yeah. But he needs to sort of do something about that. Maybe get Blink now or something, but he's going to have a lot of units continue to reinforce this, so he needs to spend all his money.
Genesis needs to attack the Stalkers and not the Pylons like he's been doing so far.
Yeah. You see that he's doing really good kite. Now he's going to be able to pretty much trap these guys. Wow. Getting out almost the surround on those Zealots. More reinforcing units coming in for Genesis. This is almost great micro from actual...
so close.
Great players. No one can come out ahead at the moment.
I think Formina's actually getting ahead in this though. He's actually got a lot of Stalkers out right now.
Yeah.
And he's warping in even more. He's got 10 Stalkers out compared to the 4 of Genesis.
Yeah,
and he's looking so far like he might be able to win this game.
Yeah, if you look at the supply, he's almost 10 ahead. Now he's deciding, okay, I'm going to get Blink, and Blink in this will be so huge, especially if his Blink micro
especially seeing as he has so many Stalkers out right now.
Yeah.
And warping more on top of that.
So now that he knows that he's pretty much in front and that stops, he's going to be able to take out this pylon as well before these Stalkers can come in, before anything else can be reinforced. And there's only 5 Stalkers here against what looks like closer to 8 or 9. Now all these Stalkers are deciding, okay, we have to go back to the base. This is one thing.
13 Stalkers out by Formina.
Yeah, one thing that we saw in the last PvP, which we love so much, is the fact that there was one pylon left close to the enemy base. And now we can see Genesis has still got that one pylon, so it'd be interesting if the battle does still happen at Genesis base. Will that be used? And this is interesting. It's a 4-gate that sort of ended in a stalemate. It looks like nobody is doing anything now. It looks like we're both teching up. Genesis is deciding to go Robo. We just saw Blink just finish then. And yeah, I think Formina's going to make the right decision now, decide to go out and try and attack this.
Formina's actually way ahead though. He has more than double the amount of Stalkers that Genesis has at this point. It's actually a huge advantage. He's got 10 more Stalkers at this point, and now it's more like 8 more Stalkers, but it's still just such a huge advantage.
Yeah, you can see that probe now coming in. He's going to try and make some sort of pylon.
There's a Immortal coming out from Genesis since he just finished his Robo.
Yeah, that
but
Immortal...
I don't think it's going to come out in time.
Yeah, he's going to have to chrono boost that a lot if he's going to try and make that. Yeah, of course. Immortals will do so much damage against these Stalkers. It will be sick if he can keep it alive. You can see one Zealot
again, so that's the correct choice there.
Yeah, and it's going to get out in time as well. Look at this. This one Zealot's just going to be like, okay, what have you got? Okay, that's your army? Okay, he's going to be able to spot this Immortal as well. And
the Immortal did finish though, so that could actually make a fairly large difference in this next battle.
One thing I would have liked to see is this other pylon that he's putting up, maybe closer to the ramps. Get that pylon like close to the ramp like we've been seeing in a lot of higher up games, being able to warp units up the top as well, get us around. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one. Having a look at the units tab, 10 Stalkers to 21 Stalkers for Formina. That is a huge difference, almost double. But of course,
Genesis
having that
keeps
one Immortal,
throwing out those Immortals, and that's really what can make the difference in this next battle. But
yeah,
to be honest, if Formina engages sooner rather than later, which is what he should be doing, actually makes another pylon closer to the Cliffstoke and will bin up there. But
yeah,
I don't think that really matters though, because he's going to be able to blink up there anyway.
Yeah, so Genesis is still unaware that Formina actually has Blink, and if you look at the supply count, it's actually really close. I think Formina has waited too long. I think if the moment that he got here, if he engaged that army, he would have been in a much better position. Now that he's waited, he's gave the time for almost 3 Immortals are going to come out now, and they're going to tear this army a new one, even with that Blink. So I think Formina should have engaged just a lot earlier. You can see now we're trying to boosting out a Observer, which is also going to help be able to spot this army as well. He's going to have no detection over here for Formina himself. And this is actually interesting. The only thing that Formina is ahead in, even though he sacrificed Stalker count, he's a little bit behind supply. He does have that Nexus in his natural. So that's going to also help. Looks like he's deciding to run up this ramp now. There's no sentries to be able to to force field this either.
Well, force fields really wouldn't make much of a difference in this situation. But yeah, just because the occurrence of blink in the situation. But yeah,
Wow.
Genesis does need to push out at some point. He does choose to push out, and those zealots are doing a fair bit of damage. Those immortals are doing huge amounts of damage, though.
Yeah.
Those what can really change the tide of this battle in the long term.
Yeah, he needs to try and focus fire these immortals. These immortals are getting focus fired now, which are slowly dying, which is the right opportunity and the right move. But yeah, wow, these immortals doing so well.
The stalker count is really dwindling from Formina, though.
Yeah.
One immortal actually does stay alive as well, and because he does have the hardened shields on top of that, which will come back over time.
Yeah.
This means that he actually might be able to make a fairly strong push back against Formina, and he really needs to go now because Formina's actually made expansion behind this, and yeah, otherwise, yeah, if Genesis chooses to sit back and make his own expansion, he's just going to fall too far behind. Now is the time for him to try and win.
Yeah, I think he either has to do one thing, he has to commit to this entire attack and reinforce it with pylons and stalkers and actually push it out because he's so far behind now.
As well.
Yeah.
So that actually might be quite a large role.
He does have a one random probe at the natural as well.
Yeah, true.
Which he could, why not? He could probably utilize that by sneaking through that grass, putting a probe there. But yeah, you're right. Genesis needs to make something happen now. He's deciding not to expand.
Go.
Yeah.
This is going to be it. He really needs to go right now, and I think he's going to engage soon. Or at least he needs to... I think he knows by now that... yeah, he knows that Formina has that expansion up.
Wow, look at that.
It does get scouted, and it does get killed off. Genesis needs to go now. He does choose to go now. Or else he's just going to fall too far behind.
Oh wow, he even got 2 Immortals himself for Formina, which are going to help as well. And you can see the Immortals having a little bit of a shoot-off. I don't know who's going to come out on top. Looks like Formina's going to be able to hold this off, which is huge for Formina, just showing that he actually has that expansion. This is going to be so close.
But Genesis is still up, still killing stuff. He's got 4 kills so far.
Wow.
He's doing huge amounts of damage to these stalkers, and he actually might... Wow, he's actually going to get a fair lead out of this.
Yeah, wow, he's actually going to pull this off. That Immortal's actually huge enough.
And there's another Immortal coming for Genesis as well.
Yeah, those Immortals are actually doing 6 amount of damage. One Immortal has pretty much got 5 kills already. The other one